What is freedom. What is so free that it doesn't need to be even what it is. Looking doesn't need to be looking. Looking is free to arise or not to arise. Hearing can happen or not happen. Listening can happen or not happen. There is no value to either listening or not listening. Value would mean that listening is more important than not listening, and through listening, someone can reach to a particular point, someone can have a better understanding. There is nothing to understand, so there can be listening or there can be no listening, but it doesn't matter. Both are equally what is, both are what's appearing to happen. The words can happen or not happen. Movement can arise or not arise. The I am can arise or not arise. It's not about what arises. It's really about nothing, because nothing in a sense has any solidity, any realness to it. Everything is fluid in a way. Fluid in the sense that it's not fixed to a particular appearance. This is not saying that only a particular set of experience or appearance can arise. This is not saying that the I am is bad, that the I am is wrong in some way, that there shouldn't be a position or a fixed point. Position, fixed point is just freedom appearing as a position, positioning, appearing as a point, pointing. It's just freedom everywhere. The individual or the person is always about judgments. That's why it's always divisioning appearances into either good or bad. That's why it's holding on to the appearances and making it seem that it's real, that it has an inherent existence. There is nothing which has an inherent existence. There is no existence as such. This is and isn't. This is so free that it doesn't need to be this. This is free to be not this. What's appearing to happen is free for not being what's appearing to happen. What's appearing to happen is nothing happening already. Only when there is a solid point does it seem like that something is happening for that someone, for that fixed point. When that someone apparently falls away, then there is only nothing happening. But there is an apparent fall of the cup from the table if the cup is pushed. But that is also nothing happening, appearing as the cup falling from a table when it's pushed. When there is someone looking at the cup falling from a table, the subject and the object duality creates as if there is something real happening. As soon as a solid subject is formed in the center of appearance, there is a sense that everything out there is solid and real, which hides the already alive appearance. This This is neither real nor unreal, and it's both real and unreal. For the individual or the person, the appearance is only real. It completely overlooks the unreal part of the appearance. But realness is unrealness appearing as realness, and unrealness is realness appearing as unrealness. There is no separation between anything whatsoever. Speaking, not speaking, the gap between the words is itself, are all what's appearing to happen, which is naturally whole and complete. There is no need for the words to happen, there is no need for the silence to happen, there is no need for anything. Needs only arise in the lack of the I am, in the solid position of the I am. As soon as the solid position is formed in the center, then there is a sense that something is lacking. Because the I am is all about realness. And as the appearance is real for the I am, and as the I am knows what's the appearance, so in a way it looks for manipulating it, it looks for getting the appearance right through more knowing, through more understanding. And this in a way continues for that fixed positional I am, because the I am is only knowing. It's about knowing what is happening, it's about knowing if I am doing things right or wrong, it's about knowing that when will I get to wholeness, it's about knowing that what meditation can I do to get to enlightenment. It's all about specialness. The I am is all about specialness. The meanness has all the function of the seeking. The seeking is synonymous with me. There is nothing wrong with seeking, but seeking as a function is not going to get anywhere, because this is already. What is already whatever it is and isn't. What is and isn't. It's not only is because it's free to be is and it's free to be isn't. What is free to be is or isn't, or neither, or both. This is free to be this or not this. There is nothing which is bonding the appearance, which is making the appearance limited. It's only the apparent sense of a positional center inside the body that makes it appear that everything has an apparent position out there, that the world has a solid position, that the other bodies have someone inside them. There is only one someone, and that's here. If that someone falls away, then there is no someone out there. With the falling away of that someone, apparently, that someone never happened, that someone was always a dream, was always a fictional character. The freedom of what is not something special. The freedom of what is absolutely ordinary. The freedom of this is the camera, the seeing, the hearing, and everything. Everything that's happening is freedom. Even the sense of a seeker is freedom. Even the sense of the I am is freedom. That's the problem for the seeker. It's already the freedom for which it is longing. But the I am is looking for something knowable. And that's why it's hopeless. Because there is nothing which is knowable. What is too unlimited to be contained in a word. And all words are just it. But no word is it. No word can contain it. No word can capture it. And as the I am is just knowing, that's why the I am is completely hopeless and clueless about what this is. As soon as that position has some knowing, it creates other positions of knowing, and through those positions it tries to completely or fulfill itself. The positional sense of I am creates the positional knowings, and through those knowings it tries to fill the void of I am. It tries to fill the void of itself through more collection of concepts, beliefs, and conceptual frameworks. This is unknowing, is the most fearful thing for the seeker, because the seeker is always looking for something knowable to hold on to. It's always afraid of unknowing because unknowing is death for the seeker. It's like being dead for the I am. What is already unknowing. So what is life and death at the same time. There is nothing which is separating life and death. It's only when the I am arises in the body that there is separation between life and death. And that I am constantly tries to avoid death through more knowing, to feel safe and secure. It tries to tinker its beliefs, it tries to get to more wholesome concepts so that it can avoid unknowing. Or the seeker also tries to fulfill the knowing through more knowing. It tries to get to the end of knowing through knowing. And that's what is self-perpetuating, the knower. But all that process is what is appearing as knowing. It's always unknowing appearing as sitting, listening, hearing. Unknowing appearing as knowing. Unknowing appear as the seeker seeking. Unknowing appearing as the feeling of someone being inside the body, looking from behind the eyes. It's all unknowing, freedomly unknowing. It's not about the words that are being spoken here. It's something beyond the words. It's not beyond in a sense that it's somewhere hidden. It's beyond in a sense that it's already this, it's already unknowably this. It's immediate and spontaneously what's arising or happening. Sitting is beyond, hearing is beyond. It's ordinarily beyond. Hearing is ordinarily beyond. Sitting is ordinarily beyond. Beyond what? Beyond nothing. Because nothing is hidden anywhere. It's always the seeker which thinks that what's happening has something missing, and that's why it goes on a search. Firstly, there is an I am, and then there is knowing of what's happening. That knowing is unfulfilled, and that's why there is a sense of some lack. As soon as in this unlimited, boundless everything arises a knowing of what this is, there can feel a sense that there is something more to know, that there is something more to get, that the knowing of what this is not enough. The knowing of what this is by the seeker is not enough because this cannot be known, and that's why it's unfulfilling for the seeking energy. The seeking energy is all about hope. The seeking energy is all about holding. The seeking energy is all about acquiring. Acquiring a better experience, acquiring mystical experiences, searching for self help, searching for personal development are all the functions of the seeker which is trying to get to something better than this. All the functions of the seeker come from one belief, and that is that something needs to happen. The seeker can be summed up in this: something needs to happen. And that is what is challenged by this message. Nothing needs to happen. No words are required, no meditation is required. Even that is not required, that no words are being spoken. Even that is not required, that no hearing is there. Hearing or not hearing doesn't matter. Exactly as it is already perfect. This is so simple for the seeker that it's always saying that this can't be it, that it cannot be this simple. The seeker is always about complexities. It's always looking for complex teachings, complex concepts, and complex meditative techniques so that it can perpetuate the circular cycle of knowing, then again knowing, and trying to reach to the hopeless end of knowing through more knowing. Questions can happen, but no question can be answered. This doesn't have any question. Seeing doesn't have any question. Looking doesn't have any question. What's appearing to happen is without any question or an answer. Or you can say that it's all answers and all questions at once. Looking is all answers and all questions at once. nowhere to go, nothing to get, nothing to find. What to find in already what's happening, in already the immediate, the free, the liberated, already what's happening. What to find in already finding. Already is the most threatening word for the seeker, because the seeker is looking for something to do. Without doing, the seeker is just taken away from the ventilator. Because as soon as it said that this is already whole, the seeker thinks that then what am I going to do? Then what am I going to practice? Then what am I going to say? Because it's all about trying to overcome the already non existent separation. And the statement that there is no separation already is threatening to the seeking energy, because after listening to that, there is nothing to seek really. So the seeker just gets threatened. And that's why this message can not sound great sometimes, because if there is a seeker there, then it can sound as if something threatening is being said. The need to know is not going to get fulfilled. The need to know just falls away apparently. The questions aren't answered, the questions fall away apparently. Because it can be realized that there is no need of any questions and answers, because this is without any knowing, and all answers and questions are created out of that knowing energy. The knowing energy is always trying to understand. It's trying to understand everything every second. And that's how it misses the already alive unknowableness of what is. It's trying to get to unknowing through more knowing. It's trying to get to aliveness through understanding the dead concepts, the dead knowing. It's trying to get to alive unknowing through dead knowing. Knowing is always dead, because knowing is something real, knowing is something solid. It's limited. It has an end point, it has a start point, and that's why it has death. Unknowing is without any solidity, without any fixedness, without any starting point or end point. So unknowing is infinitely alive. as that someone or the I am has a starting point and an end point, so it's trying to fill that gap of the starting point and end point through creating more knowing. It's trying to fill the life and the death through knowing more, getting more, and knowing includes trying to get a better experience. Knowing doesn't only mean that someone is looking for better understanding, it also means trying to look for better experience, trying to look for some grander thing. Knowing just means the need to look, the need for somewhere to get. That's knowing. That's the knowing energy. This is free of any knowing and it doesn't need any knowing. Because it's free to be as it is and it's free to be not as it is. The curtains, the chairs, the camera doesn't need to be the curtains, the chair and the camera. It can be anything else. It doesn't even need to arise. The arising doesn't need to arise. That's how free what's arising is. What's happening doesn't even need to happen. That's how free what's happening is. This is not a teaching. The message doesn't have any authority, any teaching, any teacher, no rules to follow, no methods. All methods, all rules, a teacher student relationship, and hierarchies are all about the sense that something is special, that someone is more special and has more knowledge than someone else. There is no knowledge and there is no someone. There is no one already. And there is no knowledge because the subject object duality which creates knowledge doesn't exist. Knowledge is only possible in the I am positional sense of a center, which is knowing everything, the objects around it. As soon as that I am arises, the need for knowing, the need for knowledge automatically arises. Because the I am is trying to overcome the separation between itself and the objects around it through knowing, through knowledge. There can be a sense in the story of the seeker that the sense of separation has fallen away and after some time it reappears again. And then the seeker looks for that experience through which it felt the falling away of separation. And then it goes on searching for that same object again and again. It tries to recreate experiences to get to a state, to get to experience. But all coming and going, all arising and not arising are part of the dream of separation, are part of that end point and starting point of the positional sense of I am. There is no starting point and end point in this. So there is no method, no practice, no teaching which can get you to already looking and holding your mobile phone and watching this video. This communication is not even direct, it's immediate. It's immediate. Because for there to be something direct, there needs to be at least 2 points. There is only the positionless immediacy, what isness. Spontaneously, randomly, what's appearing to happen. It's random because there is nothing behind it which is controlling it. And it's random because looking can arise or not arise, hearing can arise or not arise. Everything can arise and not arise. So that's why it's random. It's not fixed to a particular experience or an appearance. And at the same time, there is no experience because there is no experiencer. For there to be an experience, there needs to be a center to know. Experience is also a kind of knowing, is also a kind of holding on to things. Closing of the eyes may happen, meditating may happen. There is nothing wrong with anything. There is only what's arising or not arising. But closing of the eyes is not done by anyone, and closing of the eyes will not make what's appearing to happen more whole and free than what it is already. Meditation is fine, but no meditation can make this more whole than more free and more whole than what this is already. How to get to already meditating through meditation? Not possible. Getting may happen, acquiring may happen, but no one is getting and no one is acquiring. It's that someone that judges acquiring and getting as something positive or negative. Positive or negative only arise in the bubble of knowing of I am. There is no positive or negative in this already unfixed and unknowable, mysteriously whole, what's appearing to happen. This is completely neutral. Neutral in the sense that it's free of any knowing, it's empty of any happening or any arising, and it's full of all happenings and it's full of all arisings at the same time. The sound of the car is wholeness, is freedom appearing as the sound of the car. The sound of the car doesn't even need to be the sound of the car. The sound of the car can arise, it will be what is what is, it was what is. The sound of the car is what is. The not sound of the car is also what is. Nothing is separate from what is. There is only what is. The message is so simple and immediate that it's empty of any manipulations, it's empty of any data or information, it's empty of any glitterings, any glittery concepts, any glittery beliefs. It's just a simple sharing, a simple sharing from nothing, a simple sharing from unknowing. The one who is speaking is not different from the one who is not speaking it. There is no one who is speaking or not speaking, there is only speaking. Speaking is what's arising, and what's arising is freedom. What's arising is nothing arising. What's happening is nothing happening. The I am can be there, the I am cannot be there. Both are equal. The message is not about being clear about anything. It's not about any kind of motivation. It's not about anything actually. It's about nothing. The message is just about that there is no need for anything, that there is no need to label anything, no need for this happening to be anything else, and there is no need to say that this happening cannot be anything other than what it is, because it can be anything. It's this boundless energy appearing as the room, as the camera, as the words coming out through the mouth, as the hairs, as the eyes, as the curtains, as the chair, as everything which is happening. Learning may happen, but there is no learner. It's the center positional learner which makes learning seem as if the learning needs to get to somewhere. Without a learner, the learning just becomes childish and playful, because after that, the learning is just without a starting point and end point, is without any charge. The I am just imparts its charge, its heavy charge of trying to get somewhere to the appearance. And that's why the appearance can seem heavy. It can seem heavy with concepts, it can seem heavy with knowing, it can seem heavy with trying to get something out of it. The I am is always trying to get something out of everything. It's trying to get something out of the appearance, it's trying to get something out of everything, and it's trying to make itself protective and perfect through acquirement. It's trying to fill its void of separation. And that's why at the end of the day, it's exhausting for the seeker. It's exhausting for the seeker because at the end of the day, through knowing, through the most beautiful concept, it's not able to arrive to what it is longing. The seeker is longing for liberation, the seeker is longing for freedom, but it's only longing for personal freedom, it's only longing for personal liberation. That's why it goes to spiritual teachings, that's why it goes to a therapist, to a yoga teacher, to make it feel protective and special, to make it feel as if there is someone to care for it. It's all the disease of the someone. The someone is not the problem. The someone is also this boundless perfection appearing as that someone, as the I am positional sense of the I am. The I am positional sense of the central character. The words have no point. The appearance doesn't have any point. All points are illusory. All points are just about that need to make the appearance better. And that need is completely illusory. the individual, the person, the I am is not able to get to what it's longing for because it's longing for already what's happening. It's longing for already what is. And as it's longing for already what is, so all the seeking, all the effort is futile and hopeless because there is only already aliveness. And as the I am is illusory, so the whole dream is a joke, the whole thing is a joke. There is this, only this nothing, this, only what is ising what is, only what's appearing to happening, what's appearing to happen. The sensations are not positive or negative. It's the knowing or the I am which imparts positivity or negativity to the sensations. The sensations are in of itself empty of any knowing, are empty of any addition or subtraction whatsoever. The sensations are freedom arising as the sensations. The sensations are freedom sensationing. The sensations have got no starting point and no end point. The sensations are all and none at once. The sensation of this hand holding this hand is everything. Its wholeness is freedom, is aliveness. The hairs are aliveness, the eyes are aliveness, the looking is alive. And that's why it cannot be God, because it's too simple and too without an essence or a substance to hold on to. The appearance is like air. It's only the I am which imparts solid nature to the appearance and makes it seem like it can be holded on to or God. As the appearance is like air, so it cannot be God. It's free and liberating as the air. Smiling can happen or there can be no smile. Both are equal. It's only that the person which makes it seem like smiling is more better than not smiling, and not smiling is more better than smiling. It's all about wrong and right. It's about wrong and right because it's always trying to fill the gap of separation. And through those things which it happens to overcome the separation in the dream, it makes it label as positive, and those things which have a negative impact on it apparently those things it labels as negative. That's the story of the seeker. It's all about divisions, differentiations, and knowing. It's hungry for knowledge. It thinks that through gaining more knowledge, through gaining more experiences, it can overcome the gap of separation, which is inherently lacking. The problem is that there is no separation. No separation already. No separation in looking, no separation in hearing, no separation in the curtains, no separation in anything. The center is the only separation. The I am is the only separation. And that separation is also unreal, totally unreal. Non duality is not something to get, non duality is not something to acquire, non duality is already the case. It's already everything. There is no you in it, there is no you, no I am, no me, no them, no center, no position, no point in this, in what's appearing to happen. Sometimes it can feel as if the one who is sharing the words has something which I don't have, and that's the dream. No one has anything, there is no one already. This is not about having something, this is not about getting anything. This is about an ungetting, this is about unhaving. It's the most empty message you will ever hear. Empty of any need, empty of any method, empty of any rules to be this way or that way, empty of a someone who is claiming that they know something, like, like that which happens in some teachings. Teachings are all about specialness. There is nothing wrong with teachings because the teacher is not speaking the words. The teaching is also what seems to be happening, what appears to happen. But teaching as a function cannot get to anywhere, cannot reach to no separation, because no separation is already the case. The message is not about understanding the concepts mentally. Sometimes it can feel as if the speaker has understood what he is saying. The speaker hasn't got any clue about what he is saying because words are an utter surprise for him also, because the words are not coming from a fixed knowledge. The words are coming out of no one, out of unknowing itself. And that's why the message can be refreshing, can be fresh. Because most of the other teachings are all about concepts, belief structures, about maintaining something, about repeating a mantra, about doing some practice. It's not to say that this message is special, it's just a description of what apparently seems to be happening. I am not speaking from an authoritative or a position of a teacher. I am speaking from no position, from no authority. All words that are coming out of a position have got a different flavor to it. And all words that are coming out of a no position or without a position have got a slight different flavor to them. But it's not to say that they are separate, it's only in an apparent way that there can seem to be some difference between them. But both are what's appearing to happen. Nothing wrong with anything, nothing right either with anything. Neutrally perfect and whole, as it is, exactly as it is. Mm. The words are equivalent to the sound of the cup. The sound of the cup is just saying exactly the same thing as all the words that are being said in this message. The sound of the truck is this message. All sensations, all perceptions, all appearance is this message. This message is spoken by everything, every time, every moment. The curtains are speaking this, the walls are speaking this, the camera is speaking this. It's been spoken by everyone, every time, by everything, every time. And that's why it's amazing. The chair is speaking this message. Sleepiness can arise, activeness can arise, all arising as what is, as freedom, as wholeness, as indescribable perfection. The statement that there is only what is may sound as if there is someone watching what is. There is no one who is watching what is. Watching is separation. There is no one who is aware of what is. There is only what is. There is no one who is conscious of what is. There is only what is. If there is a sense of someone being conscious of the appearance, that's the I am. That's the positional sense of the seeker. If there is a sense of someone being aware of what is, then there is an apparent positional center. Awareness and consciousness is separation. So, all the methods and practices to be more aware, to be more conscious, are just perpetuating the illusory sense of the separation of the seeker. No awareness, no consciousness, all part of the dream. Nothing special about freedom, nothing special about liberation. Freedom and liberation are already the basic, the simple, the alive, the ordinary life. Already what's appearing to happen. And what's appearing to happen? It's sitting, it's listening, it's everything. And absolutely nothing. It's the boundless energy appearing as the appearance. For the individual or the I am, the appearance is not an appearance, it's something which is real. It's something which has a reality to it, and that's how the alive nature of the appearance gets hidden, and then the I am starts to look for knowing, to overcome or to find that alive appearance. The alive appearance cannot be found, it's already the case. It's already what's appearing to happen. No prescription or suggestion in this message. Any sense of a prescription or a suggestion is part of the dream. It's part of the dream that there is someone who needs to do something to get to wholeness, to get to already aliveness. As there is no someone and there is no one, so who will get to wholeness? There is only wholeness, only boundless everything, only the boundless energy. It's not dramatic, it's simple. Simply alive. Only this. This. And what is this? It's this. It's the camera. It's the fingers. It's the movement. It's the sensation of one hand on another hand. It's that basic. And that's why the seeker misses it, because it's looking for something to search, for something to see, for some complexity, so that it can do something and make an action. The seeker is always about making an action, about moving in a particular direction. There is no direction in this, there is no direction anywhere. The statement that nothing needs to happen can be used by the seeker. It can be used by the seeker in the sense that if nothing needs to happen, then I need to just sit at one place and do nothing. That's not what the message is saying. I just need to sit and do nothing is also some practice and a method to reach somewhere. It's also coming from a feeling that something needs to happen. So, this message is not about there is nothing to do, it's about there is no you to do or not to do. Doing just happens, or not doing just happens. There is no. The message is stunning. It's stunning because it's shocking for the seeker. It's shocking for the seeking energy. And at the same time, it's absolutely stunning. It's stunning. It's already the wonderful listening, hearing, sitting, and the most stunning thing is that there is no one sitting, no one hearing, and no one listening. It's simple and stunning at the same time because it's very, very, very simple. That's why it's stunning. It's very, very, very ordinary. That's why it's wonderful. It's beautiful. There is no centrality to the appearance. Centrality only arises when there is a solid position. That centrality tries to just make itself protective because it's challenged on all sides death, by the death of knowing. It's challenged on all sides by other centralities. As soon as there is one center, that center tries to create another apparent centers from which it tries to protect itself, it tries to get more than the other centers. This is the story of that positional central I am. It's all about competition, it's all about protection, it's all about constant anticipation of what's going to happen next. And that's why that central position lives in fear. It lives in fear because it's threatened by other apparent positions. It's threatened by what will happen next. It's threatened by the appearance, by the unfixedness of the appearance. And that's why it tries to know about the appearance to make it seem fixed so that it can feel protected. Fixedness is provided by the knowing to the seeker, and that's the protective energy of the fixedness provided to the seeker. It's trying to look for fixed concepts, fixed beliefs, fixed things to say about the appearance. And it is with the apparent fall away of that centrality that the other apparent centralities also fall away. And with that, the competition, the seeming trying to get better just stops happening. And then it is realized that it never happened. That the centrality, that the competition, that the trying to get to something special didn't ever happen. Nothing ever happened. Nothing is happening. There was no central position anywhere. There was no fixed point anywhere. There was only the unknowable, the unprotective unfixedness of the appearance. It's really the questions which make something about this message to come out from the speaker, because the speaker hasn't got much of himself to say. It's the questions which bring out something new from the speaker, really. The message is just about some basic concepts. The one concept is there is only what's appearing to happen. There is only what is. And that what is free, alive, liberated, and already alive. And the third concept is there is no one in what is. There is only what is. So that's the entire message in three concepts. And all the things which are said after this the are about the apparent story of the seeker, about how the apparent story arises, about how the positional sense of the I am arises, and how it falls away. The real message is just starts and finishes in no time. It starts and finishes with just a few basic concepts. Because this message doesn't have many concepts or belief systems around it, because belief systems and more complexity is only required when there is a path to get to something. As there is nothing to get to, so there is no complex concepts, no complex path required. That's why the message is too simple for the seeker, for the seeking energy. This message is not about religion or spirituality. Religion and spirituality is always about the path, is always speaking to someone. This is not speaking to anyone. This doesn't even see you as a positional center, as someone who can do or not do, as someone who can overcome separation or not overcome separation. There is already no you listening to this video, looking at my face, looking at the picture on your screen. There is just looking, just the appearance of the screen, which is happening and not happening simultaneously, which is arising and not arising at the same time. There is only what's arising. Finished. That's the message. What's arising is free, liberated, whole and perfect, with nothing needing in it. Finished. That's the message. There is no you already in what's arising. There is only what's arising. Finished. Over. That's the message. And all things which are said after these things are said are just the descriptions of that I am positional center, which is completely unreal. All questions nearly arise from that positional center. Without that positional center, all questions become fluid, become a lot less heavy. For the seeker, the questions have solidity, have realness, have heaviness to it. When there is no one, the questions can arise, but there is no heaviness, there is only lightness in the questions. There is no story around the answers given. The seeker is looking for glittery answers, for something better to hold on to, for some glowingly good concepts. All answers are useless because this doesn't need any answers. All questions and answers structure come from the belief that this isn't whole, that there is something needs to happen for this to be whole and complete. All questions are born out of the sense that when the questions will be answered, the separation will be overcome. The answer is just a demand for more questions. The answer is the demand for more questions because the answer creates more questions because the answer is inherently lacking. All knowing is all answers, and knowing creates lack, and that lack is the breeding ground for more questions. So, the answer in a way doesn't satisfy the question, it creates the demand for more questions. The answer is the demand for more questions. The answer not only creates the demand, but the answer is the demand for questions. Because as soon as the seeker gets an answer, it tries to repeat that experience by trying to create an illusory question and then trying to get an answer to that question also. And then again, when it gets the answer, it tries to create another question. As soon as an answer arises in the dream of the seeker, the demand for the next question arises with the answer simultaneously. And this answer and the demand for questions continues, and then apparently falls away. And then the whole construct is realized to be false and illusory. The good news: no questions, no answers, no requirement of any question, no requirement of any answer in what's appearing to happen, because this is already free of all needs and every need. Nothing lacking in what's appearing to happen, so no need of any trying to bridging the gap between the question and the answer. It's that demand of more questions which is created by the answer that's illusory. The answer creates the demand because the answer is knowing, and knowing creates or demands more knowing. And to get more knowing, the seeker or the I am creates its question of its own to get more knowing through more illusory answers. The need for answers is the demand for more questions. The seeker is needing the answer so that it can create the demand for more questions. And through the answers of those questions, it can create more knowing. It can get to more better understanding. there is no need of any answer, because there is no need of any knowing. All questions arise from the illusory sense of the need for more knowing. But there is nothing wrong with the questions arising. The questions arising are just what's appearing to happen. The answers arising are just what's appearing to happen. Nothing wrong with someone not asking a question, nothing wrong with someone asking a question, because there is no one or someone to ask or not to ask a question. There is only asking or answering. No center doing anything, anywhere. No one doing any action. No one moving, no one sitting. Only moving, only sitting. Questioning can happen, doubting can happen, but there is no one who is questioning and no one who is doubting. And there is no value or purpose in questioning or in doubting. In philosophy, there is a sense that questioning some can get to some final understanding. There is no final understanding, because there is nothing to understand in what's appearing to happen. What's appearing to happen is already unknowable. It's already alive. Understanding would only be possible if there was real space and real time. As there is no real space and real time, so any type of understanding is not possible, because there are no 2 points or no two fixed positions. Understanding can only happen if there are fixed positions or points somewhere. How to get to already eating the biscuit. The knower knows eating the biscuits. That's how it misses the aliveness and the freedom of already eating the biscuits. As soon as there is an I am, a sense of a knowing of eating the biscuits, the eating the biscuits gets a sense of a limitedness through the knowing. The just eating of the biscuits is unknowing, is freedom. Even the sense of a someone eating the biscuits is freedom appearing as the sense of an I am or a someone eating the biscuits. When there is someone hearing the sound of the tractor, the already alive sound of the tractor gets hidden. Without the someone hearing the sound is wow, is wonderful. It's liberation itself. All the concepts and the words that are said about what is not what is. What is only what is, and that is another concept about what is. What is too broad and unlimited to be held or captured through words. It's unknowing itself, it's completely unknowable, it's mysterious. The individual, the seeker, is trying to solve the mystery through the answers. The answer doesn't solve the mystery, it hides the mystery. The end of the question is the answer to the question. Because with the apparent end of the question, the need of the seeker falls away. The seeker is interested in searching, and that's why it's searching for answers so that it can search new questions through which it can search for new knowing through the answers it gets. The answer doesn't destroy the question, the answer creates more questions. The answer is the need for more questions. The answer is the need for more questions because answer is a form of knowing and knowing is unsatisfactory. So, through one knowing, the seeker doesn't get satisfied. It tries to look for more knowing. So, to fulfill the need for more knowing, it starts to create more questions. So, as soon as there is a one kind of knowing through one kind of answer, there is immediately a need for more questions created in the story of the seeker to get to more knowing. As it is through its created questions only that the seeker can get illusory answers and fulfill the void of knowing through more knowing. It's through the need for more questions that the seeker survives. Because without the need for more questions, the seeker is threatened. Because without any question, the seeker cannot find any knowing. To find an illusory knowing, it creates a problem, an imaginary problem. And to solve the problem, it tries to create questions through which it can solve the imagined problem. Ultimately, the whole message is about nothing. The message is zero. And that's why it's really empty of any information. There is nothing to say in this message, but saying can happen, as is happening now. This is it. What to say ahead of that? That's really the message. And all words after this is it are just play. are just what is playing through the words spoken through this mouth. The seeker is always a collector bank, is always like a collection machine, trying to collect experiences, trying to collect appearances, trying to collect more and more and more, so that it can survive and make it feel special. There is nothing to collect. This is already empty of any experience or an appearance. This is already empty of any substantiality or an essence. So all collections of the seeker are for nothing, because nothing is solid to hold on to. The seeker in its story of imagination creates solidity everywhere. It creates imagined solidity, imaginary positions, and fixed points to survive as a seeker, to just continue its continuum of the past, present, and future, to seek the answers to the questions that it has created to get more knowing. The seeker actually doesn't know that the answer is actually the need for more questions. The seeker is in disbelief that the answer is the end of the question. But with regard to the message, it is that the answer is really not the end of the question, but actually the need for more questions. The answer doesn't satisfy the question, it engenders the need for more questions. It perpetuates the need for more questions because knowing just creates the need for more knowing. Knowing is not the fulfillment of knowing. What is? What is in this? This is in what's appearing to happen, what's appearing to happening in. The movement and the one who is moving are not separate. There is only movement with no one moving. No individual, no person, no dream either. There is no dream in what's happening. Even the I am is not a dream. Finally, the dream is that there is a dream. There is no dream. There is only what's appearing to happen, which is neither real nor unreal. It's completely indescribable, completely unknowable, isness, what isness, or anything you can call it. It's not about the words. Words are just pointers, but pointers to nothing, because there is nothing to point towards. You can say in a way that the words are pointing to everything. It's pointing to the looking, it's pointing to the hearing, it's pointing to already what's happening, which is overlooked by the seeker for something else, for some special experience, which is always seeking and seeking and seeking. This is the entirety. What is the entirety. There is nothing which is apart from what is. The curtain is everything, the camera is everything, the hairs is everything, the sweater is everything, whatever is happening is everything. There is nothing else than what's happening. The I am is all about something else. It's always thinking of something else. Something else, the need for something else is synonymous with the seeking energy. The message is not about being this way or that way, about trying to be a certain way, about this or about that. It's really about nothing actually. It's just describing a limited sense of a self which may happen in this already boundless energy, and it's just exposing the illusory nature of that separate position. The message is just saying that there is only the boundless energy and it doesn't need anything. It doesn't need to be filled with any experience. It doesn't need any appearance to be already fulfilled and free. Freedom doesn't need anything else other than freedom to be freedom. Liberation doesn't need anything other than liberation to be already liberation. What is doesn't need anything other than what is to be already what is. This doesn't need anything other than this to be already this. It's so free that sometimes it just makes you stunned and you can't say a thing in that during those moments. It's just so simple. It's not even need to be understood. It's not even need to be seen or heard because there is no separation between it and you. There is no you already, there is only this. There is only what is. The seeker is always in need of more questions. It's thinking that it's through more questions that it can get more knowing. The first answer which the seeker gets acts as a foundation for the need for more questions which are created in the story of the seeker. The first knowing of I am, the first answer of I am is the foundation or the building block of the need for more questions. Those questions can be what is I am, what is this, what is, what is. All questions come within that purview. The answer or the knowing of I am feels comfortable to the position, to the fixed center. It feels comfortable to know that I am here. But it's that position which hides the already unknowable isness of what's happening from revealing itself. But that contracted fixed positional sense is also unknowing appearing as that position. no position can be gotten rid of because there is already no position. The I am cannot be got ridden of because there is no I am already. The separation cannot be overcome because there is no separation already. No question can be answered because there is no knowing in this already. The end of knowing is the end of the seeker. And the end of knowing is this. Sitting is the end of knowing. Hearing is the end of knowing. Sitting is the end of seeking. Hearing is the end of seeking. Just sitting, just hearing, with nothing being added or subtracted from it. Addition and subtractions are all the are all the functions of the seeking energy, which is trying to add better experiences to it, seeming better experiences to it, and it's trying to avoid or subtract bad experiences from it. And through that addition and subtraction, it tries to create a container of good and bad experiences, and it tries to feel special by looking at that container. It's all about specialness.